Since the 2007 crisis, labour productivity has consistently fallen well short of the UK's historical trend of increase. The very slow expansion of the real GDP and the stagnation of average earnings are mostly caused by low productivity. Although the UK is not the only country experiencing a downturn in productivity growth, its track record is among the worst in the G20. The UK had a difficult time in 2022 due to extremely slow economic growth and one of the highest rates of inflation in the OECD. There are many difficulties and uncertainties the country faces right now. The effects of Brexit are one of the main problems, since they've increased trade and investment obstacles and caused uncertainty for consumers and companies. With a $2.83 trillion GDP, the sixth largest economy in the world also suffers from high levels of public debt and budget deficits, which has put a strain on public finances and constrained the potential for economic stimulation. In addition, it's experiencing sluggish productivity growth, which has resulted in high unemployment and subpar pay growth. Furthermore, there is a great deal of geographical disparity and inequality within the UK, with some places struggling to recover from the recession, while others are seeing rapid development. According to the International Monetary Fund, if the cost of living continues to affect households, the UK economy will contract and perform worse than other major countries, including Russia. Instead of expanding modestly as originally expected, the GDP would decrease by 0.6% in 2023, according to the IMF. The Industrial Revolution of the 18th and 19th centuries, which saw the UK change from an agricultural civilization to an industrial powerhouse, can be linked to its development. During this time, breakthroughs and technologies were created, such as the steam engine and the spinning jenny, which boosted growth and productivity. The UK maintained its position as a significant force with a robust commercial and banking industry throughout the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The two world wars of the 20th century, however, had a significant influence, resulting in extensive infrastructure devastation and a loss in its standing in comparison to other nations. The economy underwent a period of rebuilding and modernization after World War II, and in the 1970s it became one of the founding members of the European Economic Community, now the European Union. The United Kingdom enacted many changes in the 1980s and 1990s to increase competitiveness and advance market-oriented policies. The global financial crisis of 2008, the ongoing effects of Brexit, and the COVID-19 epidemic, which had a significant impact on the world and the UK especially, have all been recent problems. Despite these difficulties, the UK continues to be a significant power with a sophisticated finance industry and a highly trained labour population. Over time, several important variables have influenced how the UK has grown. The 18th and 19th centuries' industrial revolutions contributed significantly to the expansion of fiscal growth by fostering the emergence of new industries and raising productivity. The long history of being a significant trade and financial power with a strong banking and financial industry has also fueled expansion. To increase competitiveness and advance market-oriented policies, the UK has undergone several political reforms over the years. These changes have increased the economy's effectiveness and drawn in investment. Major worldwide events, such as the two world wars of the 20th century and the global financial crisis of 2008, left their dents on the development of the states. The economy and its growth have been significantly impacted by these events. A crucial element in the UK's development was its participation in the European Economic Community, now the European Union, which gave it access to a sizable single market and facilitated trade and investment. Since the United Kingdom chose to leave the European Union in 2016, Brexit has had a substantial influence on the country's economy. The uncertainty surrounding the Brexit negotiations and implementation has reduced consumer and corporate confidence, as well as additional impediments to trade and investment. The interruption to commerce with the EU, the UK's main commercial partner, has been one of the major issues caused by Brexit. Lower levels of commerce between the UK and the EU have resulted in additional trade obstacles and customs inspections, which have raised costs and decreased corporate efficiency. Businesses and investors are also anxious about the future of the UK's relationship with the EU and what it will mean for trade, investment and regulation, which has led to uncertainty as a result of Brexit. The UK economy has slowed down as a result of this uncertainty, which has also affected corporate confidence and investment choices. The UK has a high amount of public debt, which is now at almost 100% of the GDP. Many variables, including the price of the financial crisis, the lingering effects of Brexit, and the COVID-19 epidemic, have contributed to this high amount of debt. The national debt has increased due to budget deficits that the UK government has also experienced in recent years. GDP growth rates in the economy have fallen short of the long-term norm in recent years. Numerous causes, notably the COVID-19 pandemic, sluggish global demand, and concern about Brexit, have contributed to this decline. The labour market has faced several challenges in recent years, including low wage growth and high levels of unemployment. Low wage growth has resulted from weak productivity and a tight labour market, and has contributed to income inequality and poverty. High unemployment, particularly among young people, has resulted from a combination of weak economic growth and structural changes in the labour market. Additionally, the UK has experienced a decline in productivity in recent years, which has reduced its competitiveness and has contributed to slowing growth. A shift in the global industrial centre of gravity away from the UK is another issue the country is now facing. The UK's economy has declined from being greater than China's in terms of relative size in less than 2 decades to being nearly 9 times smaller. Additionally, because the pound no longer has the same standing as the US dollar, financial markets will penalise it harshly if it crosses the boundary. This implies that even with a new Prime Minister largely regarded as a steady hand, the incoming UK government would have a difficult time restoring investor confidence in its economic stability. Stagnant growth and low productivity are the UK's main long-term issues. Additionally, there will be a greater suffering if the incoming administration attempts to solve the country's issues by increasing taxes and cutting expenditures, in addition to the Bank of England's increased interest rates. The effect of Brexit, high levels of public debt and budget deficits, slowing growth and falling productivity, difficulties in the labour market, inequality and geographical differences are just a few of the difficulties the UK economy is now experiencing. A variety of governmental initiatives and structural changes, such as those to increase productivity, lower inequality and foster growth and development, will be needed to address these issues. The UK economy will need a multifaceted strategy that tackles the main issues it's now experiencing to go forward. This will necessitate a dedication to putting into practice the policy changes and reforms required to increase competitiveness, foster development, and lower inequality and poverty. To take advantage of gains from international trade and investment, it will also be crucial for the UK to preserve its status as an open, global trading nation. The economic difficulties the UK is currently experiencing have a big impact on businesses and people. Businesses must adapt to a shifting environment which may need investing in new technology, competencies and procedures, and people could see changes in the workplace, such as more competition for available positions, and may need to acquire new skills and certifications to stay competitive. It will take a team effort from decision makers, companies and individuals to address the issues confronting the UK economy and create a strong and sustainable future for the country. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, place a comment in the section below. Until next time, do take care and stay safe.